And you're with.
Budgeting often gets a bad rap.
Where am I sitting? Yeah, fine. Okay, here he comes.
If you don't mind, I'll just move the chair.
You'll have to take non-aisle seats. Good morning, everyone. I'm Al Gortz, the chairman of the Jewish Federation of South Palm Beach County. It's my honor to welcome you to the Federation campus on this momentous occasion for our community, a celebration of the new historic partnership between Florida Atlantic University and Technion, the Israel Institute of Technology. First, please join me in welcoming the FAU Medical School students and faculty on stage. I'm happy to say that I also serve on the advisory board of the Charles E. Schmidt Medical School at FAU. The Federation is proud to be hosting this morning's celebration on our campus, the largest Jewish campus of its kind in the country. With an array of schools, senior housing, and our Federation's vital beneficiary agencies, our 100-acre campus is a showcase of the types of partnerships we take pride in forging, not just here in our community, but throughout the globe. And for those of you who don't know yet, that rather large construction site you passed on your way in will soon become Sinai Residences, a comprehensive, state-of-the-art continuing care retirement community. We invite you to arrange a return visit when we can personally introduce you to all the resources on our campus and the vital mission of our Jewish Federation. Now I'd ask that you please stand and join Cantor Benjamin Tisser of B'nai Torah Congregation, who will lead us in singing the national anthems of the United States and Israel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Kol od balevav ונעימה, נפש יהודי הומיה, ולפתי מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
Thank you, Cantor. Here at the hub of our thriving Jewish community, we're privileged to celebrate what I said before, the new historic partnership between FAU and Technion. Our federation is proud of our outstanding and long-standing partnerships with both of these renowned institutions. Last spring, we celebrated the State of Israel's 66th anniversary with a remarkable technology showcase of cutting-edge Israeli innovations that are benefiting people in many ways throughout the world. Many of the renowned scientists and entrepreneurs who presented at that showcase studied and/or developed their projects at Technion. And we are also proud to partner with FAU on many initiatives. To name just a few that continue to build our strong relationship, our federation supports the Center for Holocaust and Human Rights Education at FAU, as well as a campus rabbi and an Israel emissary to Hillel. And just last month, FAU successfully and generously, I might add, hosted many events for our JCC's Maccabi Games. With that by way of introduction, it's now my pleasure to introduce someone who arrived at FAU 6 months ago and has already begun to make his influence felt in a very positive way, both at FAU and in our community. Dr. John Kelly was named the 7th president of FAU by a unanimous vote of the Board of Trustees in January and took over leadership of the university in March. He came to FAU from Clemson University, where he served in a succession of faculty and administrative positions over a 28-year period, concluding his career at Clemson as Vice President of Economic Development. I'm told that Dr. Kelly is excited to be leading a university that's rapidly advancing on many fronts, particularly as a center of excellence in the life sciences. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kelly to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Gortz, and I apologize for my voice. I got a little overzealous at my first football win last Saturday night, and so I'll try to speak slowly and clearly. This is truly a landmark day for Florida Atlantic University. It's a day that we've been looking forward to for several months. A lot of people have put a lot of work into making today happen, and I think it's important that as this day progresses, we realize this is a beginning. It's a beginning of something truly special that we can celebrate together between our two countries. It's also a beginning of a scientific exchange which should make revolutionary changes in human health. I want to extend gratitude to all of our elected officials who are here today and their designees in the audience. Would they please stand? All elected officials. And we're also very delighted to have members of our esteemed Florida Atlantic University Board of Trustees here today. Chairman Anthony Barber, Trustee Michael Cepeda, Trustee Jeffrey Feingold, and Trustee Bob Rubin are here with us. If they could stand, please. Dr. Feingold and his wife Barbara accompanied the governor on a trade mission to Israel, and several of the rest of you, I think, were on that same mission. It was supported by Enterprise Florida, It was a chance for our two countries to begin thinking about an exchange of scientific as well as educational opportunities, as well as business development. And we're deeply indebted to those who helped put this idea together, which becomes the foundation of today's success. Maria Sachs, when we met in her office, Anthony Barber and I met in her office in Tallahassee, she made an important phone call to Malcolm Dorman, and Malcolm invited Bob Perlman and me down to his home. And through all those relationships, we now have something extremely special to celebrate today. So those of you who were on the trade mission or associated with the early development of this project, if you could please stand and receive our gratitude. Come on, Malcolm, you need to stand as well. I also want to thank and recognize the individuals in the white coats who are seated to my left. We have Dr. Heather Kiesler-Reyes, a pulmonologist in Boca Raton, and Dr. Eric Rothschild, OBGYN in Pembroke Pines. They're both proud graduates of the Technion-Israel Institute of Technology. Stand, we recognize. And we also have several of our medical students from the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine who represent our student Jewish interest group, and some have direct connections to Israel. If you could stand and be recognized as well. Let me welcome all of you and thank you for being here. 2 days ago, Florida Atlantic University celebrated its 50th year of being open. It's a very exciting anniversary for us because it embarks us on the next era of what Florida Atlantic is destined to become. My aspiration is that Florida Atlantic University will be this country's next great university, one celebrated on both the national and the global stage for its excellence. One of the things that I told the group during the State of the Union address, the faculty and staff and students during the State of the Union address last week, was that we will be judged not only on our own abilities, but by the partnerships we form. And today's partnership, I think, is instrumental as we begin the next 50 years of Florida Atlantic University. We could not ask for a more auspicious way to embark on that journey than today, with the announcement of our partnership with one of the world's most accomplished centers of education and research excellence. The Technion-Israel Institute of Technology was established in 1912 and is the oldest university in Israel. At 50, FAU is much younger, but we are going to mature rapidly as a research university, and this partnership is very important to that maturation. The Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching has awarded FAU its High Research Activity designation. Work is now underway that includes developing novel drug therapies, harnessing the power of Florida's offshore currents and generating energy, and protecting and restoring the natural environment, the Everglades, largest restoration project in the world. Researchers in the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine are focusing on finding ways to prevent and treat a wide variety of illnesses, including cardiovascular disease, stroke, cancer, osteoarthritis, neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, eye diseases including macular degeneration and cataracts, autoimmune diseases, malaria, and HIV/AIDS. They're also taking the lead in promoting healthy aging. Anybody against that? I love the idea. Fixed voices. It's a vitally important concern we share here and around the world. You will soon have the opportunity to learn more about what's happening, the great work that occurs in our College of Medicine from Dr. David Borman, the Dean and Executive Director of Medical Affairs. We're very proud that our medical school is the first in Florida to join hands with Technion through the Technion American Medical School, or TEAMS acronym. It's a program to expand our scholarly and research ties between our two countries. I had the great pleasure of getting to spend a couple summers of my life in Israel and seeing the outstanding science that occurs in that country. The Technion has been a global leader in groundbreaking research and a cornerstone of academic excellence across the world. And it is now my pleasure and privilege to introduce Nancy Arenson, President of the South Palm Beach chapter of the American Technion Society, which is a bulwark of support for the Technion here in our area. Ms. Arenson is also an American Technion Society National Board member and a resident of Boca Raton. Please welcome Nancy Arenson.
No giggles. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Esteemed guests and friends, I am Nancy Arenson. I'm waiting for the Technion and FAU to collaborate on finding a cure for shortness. I am honored to be here today representing the American Technion Society, the ATS as we call it, the U.S.-based partner of the Technion-Israel Institute of Technology. And as Dr. Kelly said, I have the pleasure of serving as the ATS South Palm Beach Chapter County, ATS South Palm Beach County Chapter President, as well as a national ATS board member. But before I tell you a little bit more about the Technion and the ATS, I'd like to speak with you for a moment, not as a chapter president, not as a board member. I'd like to share a very personal Technion story with you. On the screen, you will see two distinguished professors. Professor Avram Hershko is on the left, and Professor Aaron Chekanover on the right. They are two of the 3 Nobel laureates from the Technion, and we're very proud of them. Professors Hershko and Chekanover's research was into ubiquitin-mediated protein degradation. I know that this sounds quite complicated to most of you, maybe not to those of you over there on the right. I know that it did to me. But when I heard Professor Chekanover speak, he explained their research in quite simple terms. He said that all organisms, plants, animals, and human beings get rid of waste by the same process. And diseases such as certain malignancies and neurodegenerative disorders, as well as inflammatory diseases, can result when protein degradation does not work properly. Knowledge of this process has already led to the development of a powerful anti-cancer drug known as Velcade, and other drugs are in the pipeline. Now let me bring this full circle. My cousin Jay, now pictured on the screen with his wife and 8 of his 9 grandchildren, is a respected dermatologist in Toronto. 6 years ago, he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, and when the disease became active 3 years later, Velcade, the drug of choice, developed because of the Nobel Prize-winning research done at the Technion, was key to the induction therapy that later allowed Jay to have a stem cell transplant of his own stem cells. Today, Jay is back at work, playing with his grandchildren, and continuing to live life to the fullest. I spoke with him last night, telling him that I was going to be speaking about him today, and he told me that he had just gotten results from his doctor, and there was no sign of the myeloma as of yesterday, and he was in complete remission as of right now. Fortunately, Jay's is only one story in a world filled with Technion discoveries and advances, many of which Professor Shalev will cover in a few moments. You may know that the Haifa-based institute in Israel's first university, older than the Jewish state itself, throughout its history since the laying of the first cornerstone in 1912, the Technion has successfully anticipated future needs in order to ensure the survival and growth of the state of Israel. The Technion's early graduates built the young nation's infrastructure and helped to lay the foundations of the modern state. Over the next 100+ years, the Technion evolved into a global power in biotechnology, satellite research, computer science, nanotechnology, energy, and of course, why we're here today, medicine. Today, the Technion is recognized as the engine driving Israel's high-tech economy and earning a worldwide reputation as the startup nation. Nearly 96,000 Technion graduates launch, lead, and grow Israel's major companies, including 59 of the 121 high-tech companies that Israel has on NASDAQ. The ATS is enormously proud of its support of the Technion, contributing more than $1.95 billion since its inception in 1940. By the way, the first chair of the ATS, the American Technion Society, in 1940 was Albert Einstein. The ATS and its network of chapters across the United States provide funds for scholarships, fellowships, faculty recruitment, research, buildings, laboratories, classrooms, dormitories, and much, much more. To learn more about the Technion and the ATS, you can visit us online. You can see me after this presentation. I am personally excited about this collaboration between the Technion Faculty of Medicine and FAU's Schmidt College of Medicine, this wonderful new medical school right here in our backyard. And I look forward to the research and discoveries that I know we will be hearing about in the future. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Eliezar Shalev, Dean of the Technion's Rappaport Faculty of Medicine, Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and incumbent Minnie and Reuben Finkelstein Academic Chair at the Technion. Dr. Shalev is also Chairman of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Emek Medical Center in Afula. Dr. Shalev is one of Israel's leading experts in obstetrics, gynecology, ultrasound, and fertility. His research interests focus on tackling problems with fertility and the molecular mechanism of human embryonic implantation and birth. Professor Shalev also holds a distinguished position as head of the Israeli Ministry of Health Advising Committee for Genetics, Gynecology, Neonatology, and OBGYN. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Eliezar Shalev.
Nancy, thank you for your warm introduction. Ladies, gentlemen, students, Technion graduates, good friends, it's an honor and a pleasure to take part in this event. I want to start on thanking the talented members and supporters of the American Technion Society, the ATS, who decided to commit their time, energy, and resources to strengthen the Faculty of Medicine and the Technion. We immensely appreciate your contribution. On this opportunity, I also like to thank Mel Bloom, Executive Vice President Emeritus of the ATS. We are grateful for all he has done and will continue to do for the ATS and the Technion. I'd like to thank you, Mel, from the bottom of my heart. Our faculty is one of the only few medical schools worldwide that is affiliated with science and engineering academic institutes. This facilitates highly important and fruitful interaction between life science, engineering, computer science, exact science, etc. This unique position enables us to take advantage of the most state-of-the-art technology in all major fields of science. And that all in order to do good research and in educating highly skilled physicians who are now holding senior positions in the field of medicine and biotech. Our faculty is young, even younger than the FAU. Our faculty is 44 years old, but in these 4 decades, we have succeeded to get numerous world-class achievements, as you have already heard. Out of the 3 Technion Nobel Prizes, 2 of them are from our faculty. Distinguished Professor Avram Eshko, my teacher, I am a Technion graduate, and Aaron Chechanover, good friend, were awarded in 2004 the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for discovering the ubiquitin system and its crucial role in protein degradation and cell cycle. their findings, as you have heard, pave a new way for constructing new drugs for treating cancer and other diseases. Two members of our Department of Pharmacology, Professor Musa Yudim and John Finberg, developed together with Teva Pharmaceutical the drug Resagelin, called Azilect, a drug that was approved by the FDA for use by Parkinson's patients, already suppressing symptoms in hundreds of thousands of suffering patients. Another distinguished faculty member, Professor Joseph Itzkovich, is a pioneer in human embryonic stem cells. Stem cells is the tool that opened the new field of regenerative medicine. And I'm sure that we will see the results in the near future. The Faculty of Medicine at Technion places a strong emphasis on convergent and interdisciplinary research, both in cancer, cardiovascular disease, neuroimmunological disorders, and computational neurosciences. Research on network of brain cells being conducted by the faculty members and other people from the Faculty of Electrical Engineering is shedding light on the underlying principles of learning and memory, as well as the relationship between synapse formation and communication between brain cells. The Technion Faculty of Medicine is already highly active in international academic exchange and scientific research collaboration. We see collaboration as the key for success. We have established collaboration with many renowned overseas medical institutions, including those in the United States, of course, Canada, United Kingdom, and Australia. Recently, the Technion Faculty of Medicine has signed an MOU with the Florida Atlantic University. The faculty views its relationship with FAU as an exceptional opportunity to provide unique learning experience for students who may wish to pursue an MD degree from their home institution while fulfilling half of their degree requirement at host institution from both sides. This is the first MOU for us where two schools are working together to create a new medical curriculum built on respect, cooperation, and vision. President Kelly, Dean Bjorkman, thank you both for this opportunity to establish this collaboration. The importance of this affiliation is the impact it can have on a new model of medical education, drawing on the research strength of the Technion and the clinical practice of FAU. I am sure that this MOU is only the beginning of a long-term fruitful cooperation between the two universities. Last but not least, I would like to thank Consul General Haim Shacham and the Jewish Federation of South Palm Beach County for hosting this event, and the South Palm Beach community for the warm welcome. I thank you all for being part of this exciting project.
Thank you, Dean Shalev. Now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. David Borman. He's been leading the FAU College of Medicine with vision and energy for the past 2 years. He came to us from the University of Utah, where he was associated with the School of Medicine for more than 25 years, including serving as the dean. His depth of experience and integrated approach to medical education has made him a perfect fit for FAU, and we're very lucky to have him on board. Please join me in welcoming Dr. David Borman.
Thank you, President Kelly, for that warm introduction. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor it is to represent the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine during this momentous occasion for Florida Atlantic University. We are extremely proud of our evolving partnership with the world-renowned Technion-Israel Institute of Technology and Technion's Ruth and Bruce Rappaport Faculty of Medicine. As you just heard from Dean Shalev and from Nancy Arenson, Technion's life-saving contributions in medicine and technology are immeasurable and far-reaching. and are touching the lives of many people today. Technion will provide numerous opportunities for our faculty and our students who are eagerly awaiting to learn more about the specifics of this first Technion American Medical School, or TEAMS program in Florida. Technion's innovative program began in 1983 and offers qualified American and Canadian college graduates the opportunity to live in Israel while completing their medical studies. And now students in the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine will have the opportunity to study in Israel to enrich their medical school training. In addition to student programs, our collaboration will promote international and intercultural understanding, which is essential to Florida Atlantic University and to our communities. We are also exploring ways to expand our scholarly ties, facilitate academic and research opportunities, and establish potential joint degree programs with the Technion. Students and faculty from Technion's Ruth and Bruce Rappaport Faculty of Medicine will also have the opportunity to visit and spend time in the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine to engage in collaborative research, academic and clinical experiences right here in beautiful South Florida. I agree with Dean Shalev that the future is collaboration. Although our College of Medicine has a much shorter history than the Rappaport Faculty of Medicine, we were established in 2011, we have an incredible future ahead of us, and we have outstanding community support. We are one of only 141 allopathic medical schools in the United States, and the only medical school in Palm Beach County. Our small class size provides a personalized setting with emphasis on self-directed and problem-based learning. As a community-based medical school, our curriculum is enhanced by clinical experiences with several outstanding hospitals in South Florida, health departments, and more than 1,000 community physicians representing virtually every medical specialty. From the first day of medical school, our students are empowered by working side by side with physicians in the diagnosis and treatment of patients during their clinical training. We offer a dual MD-PhD program with the internationally renowned Kellogg School at the Scripps Institute, Florida, located on FAU's MacArthur campus in Jupiter. This dual degree is geared towards exceptionally motivated students who seek to combine the practice of medicine with research to solve complex current and evolving problems in health. We are dedicated to doing our part to address the looming shortage of physicians in our region, and our commitment extends beyond undergraduate medical education. In 2011, we formed the FAU Graduate Medical Education Consortium with our partners, Bethesda Healthcare, Boca Raton Regional Hospital, and Tenants Delray Medical Center, St. Mary's Medical Center, and West Boca Medical Center. Our Graduate Medical Education Consortium is committed to increasing much-needed residency positions in Palm Beach County to ensure that our region will continue to have an adequate and well-trained physician workforce. This past June, we welcomed the first class of 36 residents in our first internal medicine residency program. We are also conducting basic, translational, and clinical research that increases knowledge of human biology, the treatment and prevention of human disease. Research emphasis in our college includes aging, regenerative medicine, neuroscience, preventive medicine, and public health. We are proud to have such an extraordinary partner in the Technion-Israel Institute of Technology, and we are thankful for the tremendous support that they receive from the American Technion Society. We look forward to putting our plan to work and tapping into our combined resources and our combined expertise to fuel the creation of new and innovative programs for students and faculty. This collaboration will benefit so many individuals across the globe for decades to come. I'm going to give a very special thanks to Dean Shalev and all of our distinguished speakers, students, and guests here today. We also extend a special thank you to our very gracious hosts for providing this beautiful venue. I appreciate the opportunity to share this great news with you and look forward to a very fruitful and productive partnership. Shalom.
Thank you, Dean Borman. It's now my privilege to introduce to you Senator Maria Lortz Sachs. Senator Sachs has been in the Florida Senate since 2010, having previously served in the Florida House for 4 years. The Boca Raton campus is in her district, District 24, We're proud to say that she has been a great advocate for Florida Atlantic University, including working in our offices in the past before she was in the legislature. And she's helped us with funding numerous projects. More importantly today, Maria has been a zealous champion for the partnership between FAU and Technion, urging parties on both sides to work together and facilitating conversations. It's fitting that she is here today. Please join me in welcoming Senator Maria Sachs.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Counsel General, President Kelly, Anthony Barber, Chairman of the Trustees, and my good friends. Many of us grew up in the age and the generation of the new frontier. Nothing was impossible to us. We looked at the moon, wanted to conquer it, plant an American flag. We were watching RCA Victor TVs, and next thing you know, we're looking at our Android Google apps. So nothing was impossible to us, and this is the way we all grew up. Nothing is impossible. Well, today we celebrate something that many would have found impossible just a number of years ago. And that is a collaboration between two very fine institutions, but so far apart. One in Haifa, Israel, and the other here in Boca Raton, Florida. Who would have figured? And yet, this thing just didn't happen. In the year 2010, we had a new governor, and I had just been elected state senator. So I was feeling kind of feisty, you know, so I thought I'd write this new governor a letter. And I said to him, "Dear Governor, why don't you consider traveling to the country of Israel as one of your first trade missions?" Well, I thought it would go into a pile, you know, of those letters that are nice but don't necessarily get a personal response. I did get a personal response. I got a phone call, and he invited me and my husband Peter to travel with him and a group of very fine and educated and involved constituents to the state of Israel. And I was very, very surprised to be included in that because we're not necessarily in the same party. Didn't make any difference. Didn't make any difference. And there I came in contact with what has been known as the Startup Nation. As described in that book, a nation of only 7 million people, surrounded by enemies, with no natural resources and in a constant state of war, and yet with technology and genius that belies its small space and small number of people that is greater than any other country has produced in the world, in the history of the world. And I was so impressed. So as I went on this trip, I was speaking a lot to Dr. Malcolm Dorman, who I got to know on the trip and who has become a very, very close friend. And we began to question, why not? We are the generation of the new frontier. Why not bring some of this genius of technology and entrepreneurship back home to our constituents, to my constituents anyways? Dr. Dorman was very much involved with the medical research that was going on at Technion and other medical facilities and institutions in Israel. And I have to make a shout out and thank Lothar and Carolyn Mayer. I'm not sure if they're here today, but they were with us on the trip and they shared with me their deep sense of love for the state of Israel. So I brought this back with us and I decided to talk to somebody about it. And I talked a lot about this idea, especially to Anthony Barber. I talked to him all the time about it. And so we brought it up to the various presidents, and we have a wonderful president today, and I want all of us, we could congratulate Dr. John Kelly in bringing this together. If it had not been for his vision to see that we could do this remarkable and extraordinary feat of collaboration, we wouldn't be here today. And the young people would not be able to celebrate this collaboration and the fruits that it's going to generate for years to come. But we're not over. This is just the beginning, folks. This is just the beginning. As we know, there are many hubs of technology in the United States. One in particular is outside of Stanford University, and we know what happened there. Well, we can do the same thing here in the state of Florida. With the help of collaborations such as we are celebrating here today with Technion, we can create a hub of technology and entrepreneurship that surrounds this university, of Florida Atlantic University. And we can do great innovations when it comes to medical research, which Dr. Borman always talking about and helping us to make into something that is not just a dream or a dare, but a reality. And as for myself, I'm just in government, but I see this as government at its best. This is government acting as a bridge to facilitate the meeting of the minds that we have here on stage and the groups of people out here in this audience who really want to make this happen and will make it happen and has made it happen. So to all of you, you at Technion and you at Florida Atlantic University, and especially all the young people, as well as the Federation here in Palm Beach County, I congratulate all of you for helping to make this little dream a reality come true. And let's wait for the next one, because we're just at the threshold of this new frontier here in South Florida. Thank you very much. Thank you for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sachs. And now I'm pleased to introduce someone. We've had a chance to actually get to know each other. He brought his team to our offices on the Boca campus, and we had a chance to really spend a day together. And I have a very ancient coin that I will always cherish from that visit. We're honored to have today the Consul General of Israel to Florida and Puerto Rico, Mr. Haim Shacham. He assumed the post of Consul General in the summer of 2011. And during his tenure, important milestones have been reached in the Florida-Israel relationships. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shacham.
This is a very exciting occasion. Not only am I the last speaker, but this is a meeting of many unique things together. There's the uniqueness of Israel. If you don't know already, Israel is the country with the most patents per capita in the world, and the most books published per capita in the world, and the most university degrees per capita in the world. As was already mentioned, the most non-North American companies on the NASDAQ are Israeli companies. Most of them I just learned from Technion graduates. So Israel is extremely unique. The relationship between Israel and Florida is unique. My tenure, I landed running. As soon as I got off the airplane, I joined the governor in a trip to Israel. That set things in motion that have led today to an agreement for joint research and development in the realm of space between the state of Florida and Israel. We have special laws that help Israel politically by preventing any Florida taxpayer money going to a company that works with Iran, any pension funds being invested with companies working with Iran. The relationship, the commercial and the economic relationship is also growing. Just this year, Florida, a commercial office, Enterprise Florida, was opened up in Tel Aviv. So we have a very unique relationship between the state of Florida and the state of Israel. Of all the 50 states, of course, the United States is our biggest ally, and of all the 50 states, the state of Florida is the biggest ally among them. It's also unique in that the Technion and the connection between Technion and medicine is different from most other universities, all of the universities in Israel and most other universities in the world, in that it is a technical university. It's not a general university. Because it has a technical and a scientific way of looking at things, the Technion has the ability to bring together to the study of medicine the art of technology and the study of science in order to get a complete picture of what is necessary in order to address a health problem. The agreement that is being signed is also unique in that it is a ground-up agreement beginning with the students getting together and blossoming from there into fields of research and cooperation, and it's something that is a first for these universities. I'm very proud that it is during my tenure as Consul General that this important pillar in a very beautiful building of Florida-Israel cooperation is being established and being erected. And I wish luck to both institutions and congratulations to us all for getting this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Consul General. Before concluding the program this morning, let me again express thanks to everyone who has worked so hard to make this happen. It is a beginning, not just a start, but a beginning of a relationship that I hope continues and flourishes and attracts other entities to that support system that should be created. I commit to you that Florida Atlantic University will do its equal part in making sure that that happens. I also would like to say to you, the people who have committed to this relationship have deep passion, not only from the medical side, but just what it will do for our students, to have the chance to work in both countries, to have a chance to work in medical practices and problems of immense challenges to our society. So today we begin anew with a very special Israeli saying, Tikkun Olam.
you.